Hey guys, Runzy here, bringing you guys back a new video, and today we're doing a Deadmist 2 weapons tier list. By my personal opinion, you may have a different opinion where to put like the M4 or the MK18 and all that. Alright, so right here I had like a brain fart. I couldn't say description correctly for whatever reason, so I'll be leaving a link to the tier list in the description where you guys can make your own tier list and send them to me, or if you just want to, in the comment section you can leave your feedback on it. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. But before we get started, if you guys would like to, please subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 300 subs. That's my goal for June. I believe we're about 40 something subs away, so if we can hit that by the end of June, that'd be really awesome. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first weapon we have here is a 1911. It's practically just a reskin of the USP, and they do the same amount of damage, but do not underestimate the USP in 1911. It's a pretty epic weapon, so I'm going to put it in C tier. So next up we have the AK-47. Now, it's a decent weapon. My only problem is you can't put any attachments on the AK, and just because of that, it has to go B tier. It is obviously better than a sidearm, but since you don't have any attachments for like long range, it's only really used for CQC and maybe mid-range. Now the C14, probably the most iconic weapon in Deadmist history. It's obviously SS. You do 90 with a body shot, and it's just, there's a chance to even one shot with it. You can cause 99 and bleeding, which is basically one shot because you can't bandage in time before it can kill you. But it does like 90 to 95 in the chest, which is pretty insane. So next up we have the C72. Now this is a little bit better than the AK, I would say, but not by much, because any sight you put on it just doesn't look well at all. Same with the M4, as you'll see later on. So I'll probably gonna have to put this just in front of the AK in B tier. Next we have, before we get into the next weapon, it is the FAL, but in the video I actually said the SA58. I do correct it later on, but I explained my mistake and everything, just to let you guys know, this isn't the SA58, it's the FAL. Yeah, I am smart. The almighty SA58. This thing is a 3-shot without any armor whatsoever, so obviously it's going to go SS tier, and you can put a sight on it and everything, which makes it absolutely insane. If you guys were there for my 1v1 tournament live over at Twitch, that thing literally melted somebody in 3 shots because they completely forgot to ask for body armor for whatever reason. They didn't tell me, and they got absolutely melted. Next up we have the FN Mini-Me. I don't like this gun personally. The only thing it's really good for is just spraying, and half the time you can't even hit your target. The only good thing about it is that you can put attachments on it, but that's really about it. So I'm gonna put it in B tier, but it's more, I was think about putting it in C tier, but to me it's B tier just because you can put attachments on it and you can have long range engagements with it. And with long range engagements, I mean 100 rounds is definitely going to help. So now the G3, honestly one of my favorite weapons of Deadmist. It's going to go in S tier. It's an all-around great weapon with any attachments you could find. It's such an awesome gun. It's great CQC, it's good long range, it's good middle range, medium range. All-around great weapon, S tier. Next we have the Lee-Enfield. Lee-Enfield is a sniper for those who don't know. It takes the hunting scope, and it's a very solid rifle with, I believe it does 60 damage if I'm correct. It does like 60 damage to the chest with no armor, so definitely A tier to me. Obviously close range is going to be an issue, but if you could just snipe people from long range and do 60 damage a piece, if you can hit your shots, it's really good. Next up we have the M4. It's going to get the same treatment with the C7A2, but I believe it is better, so I will put it in A tier. I believe it's a better weapon in my opinion. I've had way better experiences with it. I mean, a lot of the Stanag weapons are relatively the same. The M4 suffers with the issue with the sights looking awful on them, and you basically have to run iron sights on them. But I have done a lot better with the M4, and that's why I'm giving it the nudge over the C7. Now, the Blam Bling Blow machine, the M870, the most inconsistent weapon in this game. At close range, you can either get a 2-shot or literally 6 shots to kill somebody. So literally just for that reason, it's going C tier. A USP or 1911 is more reliable than that, and obviously you can't do anything medium range or long range. Next, the MK18, probably close to my favorite, but I still love the G3 more. The MK18 amazing weapon, especially with a CCO sight. Oh my god, the thing is amazing. I mean, like I said, a lot of the sand egg weapons are the same, but to me, the G3 and MK18 stand out. Now, it's kind of hard to tell in these pictures, but up next, I have the two MP5s. They're alright. They're good starter weapons, so I'm going to put them in a C tier above the rest of the weapons. They're alright. Not too good, not too bad. But if you go up against a player who knows what he's doing and he has anything above the, even a mini-me, you're pretty much toast. Has a decent rate of fire, though, I will give it that. Next up, the RPK. The RPK falls under the same boat as the AK. No attachments. Got a 40-round mag. It's good CQC, and that's about it. Maybe you can hit some shots medium range, but long range, not really. I'll put it in B tier. Probably in front of the AK because it has a bigger magazine. Next up, the SA-58. This gun is insane, let me tell you. I just realized at the beginning of this video, I completely messed this up. This is the FAL, and this is the SA. Nice. I completely messed it up, but the FAL is pretty good too. It's fully automatic. You can't put any attachments on it, but basically the SA is what I meant for the... I'm such a dumbass. So I'll probably edit something in where I correct my mistake, but the SA-58... complete monster. It's a 3-shot. FAL is also super good CQC, fully automatic, does the same amount of damage as the SA. So SS. Next up, we got the SKS. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do it. D tier. It's a freshie weapon. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you're going up against someone that is newer to the game, they have any weapon above this, you may be able to get a kill, but in all honesty, it's a really bad weapon. Next up is the Sporter. Even though you could barely tell that's the Sporter. That's also going to be D tier. Same boat as the SKS, but it fires slower, has a lower fire rate than the SKS, if I remember correctly. And, I mean, it's a freshie weapon. You're not going to do much with it. Next up, the Thompson. Thompson's actually a super fun gun. I used it in one of my videos, I believe, or one of my recordings that I didn't make and upload for whatever reason. Actually, a very, very solid weapon, and I put it in B tier. It's very underrated. I don't see that many people using it, and it's a pretty solid weapon, so I'll put it in B tier. Next up, the almighty USP, obviously SS tier. It's just a given. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it's gonna be the same as the 1911. It's really practically the same thing. I do think the 1911 has cooler skins though, so I'll put it in front. Next up, we have the Mosin. The Mosin, my only problem with it is I don't like the PU scope. It does pack a serious punch out. It does more damage than the Lee-Enfield, but I am going to put it in between the M4 and Lee-Enfield just because I don't like the scope personally. Even in DayZ, I don't really care for the PU scope. I'd rather have a hunting scope. Next up, the M16A4. It falls under the same issue where with the M4 and CZ, or the C7, no sights really work on it besides the Spectre, and the Spectre is super rare. So because of that, I'm going to put it in A tier. It's an alright weapon. It's a 3-round burst, but I mean, all honesty, you'd much rather want a M4 or an MK or G3. The final weapon of the tier list, the MK17. Some people call it the Scar. SS tier. Thing's a monster, fully automatic. You could put a ton of attachments on it too. I might even, you know what, I think I'm going to put it in front of the FAL and the SA-58. Absolutely insane weapon to use. I've only had it really twice in a public server, and that thing just shreds. It shreds through anything, and that's the tier list. If you guys disagree or agree, let me know in the comment section. I'll be putting a link to this tier list in the description where you guys can make your own tier list, like I said at the beginning of the video. But yeah, if you guys like the video, hit the like button. If you guys want to subscribe to see more content, subscribe. Road to 300 subs, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.
No love for me.